Hello everyone, today we're going to be making some tofu scramble Mexican style. So these are the ingredients we will be using: some tofu, salt, onion and garlic powder, cumin, chipotle chili flakes, pepper, and some turmeric. And we will be serving that with some refried beans and maybe some homemade salsa or pico de gallo. Yummy! So stay tuned. Okay, so just like we did with our queso fresco, our Mexican cheese, we're going to use about 8 ounces of extra firm tofu. I get mine from Trader Joe's. It's sprouted organic tofu. And we're going to open this up and we're going to get all the water out. I have my cloth rag right here and I just take a chunk of it and I start squeezing out the water. People do this differently. This is what works for me. And once you squeeze out the water, you start putting into a glass bowl. And I forgot to mention that I bake my tofu. I don't cook it in the stovetop. So you place it in the bowl where you're going to bake it. So this is really awesome because you do everything in one bowl. You don't have to be dirtying any other dishes. So you place your squeezed tofu into your bowl. And I'm going to keep doing this until the end, okay? So I squeezed all the tofu. I did it in like 3 or 4 parts. So just get small chunks of it, squeeze out all the water. And this is what it should look like, okay? So it's crumbly. Now we're going to add the spices. Okay, so here are the spices. We're going to add some ground black pepper, and this is to your taste. I do like maybe 4 or 5 cracks of it. And then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. You can add less, a little bit less, and then try it out and see if it needs a little bit more. So always start with less. And now we're going to add an 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cumin. And if you don't like cumin, you can just leave the cumin out. You don't have to add the cumin. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder or garlic granules. Sorry. A 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder or onion granules. I add half a teaspoon of chipotle flakes. And these flakes, you can get them, let me see, close up. You can get these online. I used to be able to buy these at Home Goods or Marshall's or TJ Maxx where they sell all those fancy spices. Now I can't find them as easily, but this is the brand. So if you want to order them online, the last time I had to order them online. Okay, so you can just go online and order them from there. And I think they're like about like $5 or $6 for this bottle. So, and the last thing we're going to add is 1/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric. And this gives it the yellow color for your scrambled eggs. And now we're going to mix this in very, very well. So you're just going to mix, mix, mix. Okay, and I've mixed all the ingredients in, and this is what it should look like. It doesn't have to be super yellow because once you start baking it, it starts getting, the yellow starts getting a little bit darker, and then it'll look like scrambled eggs. So this is 1/4 of a teaspoon for like 8 ounces is enough, but you can play around with it. And then the other thing is, I made a mistake. It was not half a teaspoon of salt. It was 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So the instructions will have the correct amount. So it is 1/4 of a teaspoon, not 1/2 of a teaspoon. So these are going to come out a little bit salty. The good thing is that I didn't put the whole 1/2 a teaspoon. So anyways, so now we're going to put this in the oven. So now we placed our tofu scramble in the oven. It's right there. And we are going to bake this for about 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't take that long at 350. So you're just going to turn on your oven and it'll start baking, and it just needs to be warmed up. It doesn't need to be like cooked or anything, because you don't need to overcook it. It's done in like 5 minutes. As soon as it warms up, it's ready to serve. Okay. So while the tofu is in the oven, we're going to make our black bean refried beans. And all I do is I have some of my homemade black beans that we did for the black bean enfrijoladas, and I'm just going to put them in my pan. We're going to heat it up. Oops, wrong one. And I'm just going to add this with no oil, so this is perfect if you're on a plant-based diet. You just add your beans with a little bit of the liquid, and this is as much liquid as you like. Some people like them pretty dry, other people like them a little bit juicier, so this is up to you. And we're going to warm this up for a few minutes, and once it starts bubbling, then we are going to mash them. So this is what the beans look like once they've been bubbling for a little bit, maybe a couple minutes. So now I'm going to turn it off and we're going to mash. Okay, we're turning off the heat, we're grabbing our masher, and you're just going to mash, 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 okay? And I will show you what they look like when I'm done. Okay, so our beans are done, as you can see right here. And I took the tofu scramble out of the oven. You see how it got a little bit more yellow, and now I'm going to plate it. So this is the finished product. There's our tofu scramble with our black refried beans and some homemade pico de gallo, and we just warm up some tortillas and we go to town. Okay, so this is my husband eating his tofu scramble. This is how Mexicans do it, okay? You just go in with the tortilla. No forks needed. And then there's some hot sauce right there if you want it a little bit hot or more hot like he does. That is picante. He has a little bit of cheese and some avocado right there. Oh man, that looks good. Okay, I hope you guys try it and love it. And talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.